9 timeless Stoic rules to navigate challenges and find balance in modern life. Imagine this: you're standing in the middle of a bustling city street. Chaos swirling around you, the cacophony of honking cars, hurried footsteps, and endless chatter fills the air. Now imagine you're entirely calm, completely unmoved by the noise, the urgency, the chaos. You're unshakable, centered, and at peace. How is this possible? The answer lies in 9 timeless Stoic rules that have guided philosophers, emperors, and ordinary people for centuries, and that can transform how we navigate modern life. Let's begin with a question. What if the greatest battles you face are not in the world around you, but in the mind within you? Stoicism, at its core, is about mastering the mind and emotions. It's about finding strength in resilience, balance in chaos, and clarity amidst uncertainty. In this video, we're diving deep into 9 Stoic principles that are not just theoretical, they're practical tools you can use starting today. These are rules to navigate challenges, to reclaim control over your life, and to discover profound balance in a world that often feels anything but balanced. We begin with Rule 1. Focus only on what you can control. This is the cornerstone of Stoic philosophy. Picture a ship captain steering a vessel in a storm. Can the captain control the wind or the waves? Of course not. But the captain can control the sails and the direction of the rudder. This distinction, what we can and cannot control, is what the Stoics call the dichotomy of control. Think about your own life. How often do you agonize over things outside your power? The opinions of others, the weather, the state of the economy. These are the winds and waves of your life. And yet, how much energy do we waste trying to fight them? Epictetus reminds us, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. To embody this rule, start small. The next time you're stuck in traffic or facing an irritable colleague, pause, ask yourself, is this within my control? If it's not, let it go. Instead, focus your energy on steering the rudder of your mind. Rule 2. See obstacles as opportunities. This might seem counterintuitive. When life throws challenges your way, a missed promotion, a failed relationship, an unexpected illness, it's easy to feel defeated. But Stoicism invites us to flip the script. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." Think of it this way: life isn't happening to you, it's happening for you. Obstacles are not roadblocks, they're stepping stones. A missed promotion might push you to develop skills you otherwise wouldn't have. A failed relationship might teach you the value of self-respect. Pause for a moment and reflect. What obstacle in your life today might actually be an opportunity in disguise? Rule 3. Practice negative visualization. Imagine losing what you hold dear, your health, your home, your loved ones. At first glance, this practice seems morbid, even cruel, but the Stoics believed that contemplating loss makes us appreciate what we have. Consider how fleeting life is. Seneca advises, begin at once to live, and count each separate day as a separate life. By envisioning the loss of something, you don't make yourself pessimistic, you make yourself grateful. When was the last time you truly appreciated the things you take for granted? Take a moment today to visualize losing something or someone important to you, not to cause despair, but to awaken gratitude. It's like sharpening your perspective to see the vibrancy of life more clearly. Now, Rule 4. Master your emotions before they master you. In the chaos of modern life, emotions often feel like storms, tossing us around. But Stoicism teaches that we are not slaves to our feelings. Seneca reminds us, we suffer more in imagination than in reality. Imagine this scenario: you receive a harsh critique at work. Your initial reaction might be anger or hurt. But what if you paused? What if, instead of reacting impulsively, you reflected? This pause creates space to choose your response instead of being ruled by it. The next time you feel anger rising or fear gripping you, ask yourself, is this emotion serving me or enslaving me? Rule 5. Live in harmony with nature. This doesn't mean you need to retreat to a forest or meditate on a mountaintop, though that wouldn't hurt. Living in harmony with nature means aligning yourself with the flow of life. It means understanding that everything in life is impermanent, just like the seasons change. So too do we. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Look at the sparrows. They don't plant or reap, but they are fed. Consider how simple their life is, and yet how content." This perspective reminds us to live simply, to embrace the natural rhythms of life, and to let go of our futile attempts to control the uncontrollable. Take a deep breath and ask yourself, am I fighting against life's flow, or am I moving with it? Each of these principles carries the weight of centuries. They've been tested in the fire of life's challenges, refined by the minds of history's greatest thinkers, and offered to us as a guide. But the journey doesn't end here. In the next part, we'll delve into 4 more rules, ones that challenge us to reframe our ambitions, our relationships, and our understanding of freedom itself. Freedom through discipline, the Stoic path to true independence. Let's begin with a story. Picture a young artist struggling to create their masterpiece. They feel constrained, limited by their tools and the technical discipline required. Yet, over time, through persistent practice and self-control, their technique improves, and they gain freedom to express their creativity without barriers. The Stoics understood this well. True freedom is not the absence of limitations, but mastery over oneself. Rule 6. Discipline equals freedom. This is perhaps one of the most misunderstood Stoic principles in modern life, where freedom is often equated with doing whatever we want, whenever we want. But the Stoics saw freedom differently. To them, freedom wasn't the liberty to indulge every whim. It was liberation from being enslaved by those whims. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Think about it. How often do we sabotage our goals because we're unwilling to discipline ourselves? Whether it's hitting snooze on an alarm, procrastinating on a project, or giving in to unhealthy habits, we trade long-term fulfillment for short-term comfort. Pause here and ask yourself, where in my life am I mistaking indulgence for freedom? How can discipline help me reclaim control? Rule 7. Reframe your perspective on pain and pleasure. For most of us, pleasure is the ultimate pursuit, while pain is something to avoid at all costs. But Stoicism turns this on its head. Epictetus taught, "Remember, it's not the events themselves that disturb people, but their judgments about those events." What if pain wasn't something to fear, but something to understand? What if it were a teacher, showing us where we need to grow? Consider the pain of physical exercise. It's uncomfortable, but it strengthens us. Or the pain of honest feedback. It stings, but it guides us toward improvement. On the flip side, pleasure can be deceptive. How often do fleeting pleasures leave us empty? The rush of social media likes, the comfort of unhealthy food, or the thrill of impulse purchases. They feel good in the moment but often come with long-term consequences. Reflect on this. What pains in your life might actually be pathways to growth? And what pleasures might be holding you back? Rule 8. Embrace the impermanence of life. This is one of the hardest rules to live by, especially in a world obsessed with permanence, permanent wealth, permanent relationships, permanent happiness. But the Stoics remind us that life is constantly changing, and clinging to permanence only causes suffering. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Everything we see is a perspective, not the truth. Everything we hear is an opinion, not a fact." Life is like a flowing river. We can either fight the current or learn to flow with it. This doesn't mean we shouldn't cherish the good things in life. It means we should cherish them fully, knowing they won't last forever. Ask yourself, what am I holding on to that I need to let go of? How can embracing impermanence bring me peace? Rule 9. Live according to your values, not the world's expectations. In today's world, it's easy to lose ourselves in the noise of other people's opinions, what we should do, how we should live, what success looks like. But the Stoics believed that true fulfillment comes from living in alignment with your inner compass, not chasing external validation. Seneca said, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more. That is poor." If you define your worth by others' standards, you'll always feel inadequate. But if you live according to your values, you'll find a deeper sense of contentment. Take a moment to reflect. What values truly matter to me? Am I living in alignment with them? Or am I chasing someone else's idea of success? These 4 rules challenge us to redefine freedom, to rethink our relationship with pain and pleasure, to embrace the fleeting nature of life, and to live authentically. They push us to look inward, to confront the uncomfortable truths we often avoid, and to rise above the distractions of modern life. In the next part, we'll bring everything together. We'll explore how to integrate these 9 Stoic rules into our daily lives in a way that feels practical, achievable, and transformative. The Everyday Stoic: how to live with wisdom, courage, and balance. Imagine waking up tomorrow with the clarity of a philosopher, the discipline of a soldier, and the calm of a monk. Your world hasn't changed, but your approach to it has transformed entirely. This is the promise of Stoicism: not to escape life's challenges, but to meet them head-on with wisdom, courage, and balance. Let's bring all 9 rules together and explore how to live them daily. Starting with the morning. The Stoics believed the way we begin our day sets the tone for everything that follows. Marcus Aurelius, in Meditations, often reminded himself, "When you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, the people you deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly. They are like this because they cannot tell good from evil." This isn't a negative outlook, it's preparation. By acknowledging that challenges are inevitable, you're less likely to be caught off guard. Start your day by reflecting on what's within your control. Ask yourself, what can I realistically influence today? And how will I respond to what I cannot? As you move through your day, Rule 1, focusing only on what you can control becomes a guidepost. Picture this: you're in a high-pressure meeting, and your ideas are dismissed. Instead of feeling frustrated or defensive, you remind yourself, I can't control how others react, but I can control how I present myself. This shift in focus empowers you to remain composed and productive. Rule 2, seeing obstacles as opportunities, becomes your mindset in these moments. Rejection, criticism, or setbacks no longer feel like the end of the road. Instead, they become fuel for growth. Every no becomes a step closer to the yes you're working toward. Throughout the day, practice Rule 3, negative visualization. Take brief moments to imagine life without the things you take for granted. Visualize losing your health, your freedom, or the people you love. This isn't morbid. It's a way to cultivate deep gratitude. When you return to the present, you'll find yourself cherishing the simplest moments. A kind word, a warm meal, or even the quiet of your commute. Now, let's talk about emotions. Rule 4, mastering your emotions before they master you requires practice. Imagine a stressful scenario. Someone cuts you off in traffic, or a colleague takes credit for your work. Instead of reacting with anger, take a deep breath. Ask yourself, what story am I telling myself about this situation? By stepping back and reframing the narrative, you can choose a response aligned with your values, rather than an impulsive reaction. Rule 5, living in harmony with nature, can be woven into your day by observing the natural flow of events. Let's say a project you've been working on is delayed due to unforeseen circumstances. Instead of resisting or blaming, remind yourself that delays, like storms or seasons, are part of life's rhythm. What matters is how you adapt. By the evening, it's time to reflect. The Stoics practiced daily self-examination, which aligns with Rule 6, discipline equals freedom. Seneca wrote, "When the light has been removed and my wife has fallen silent, I examine my entire day and go over what I have done and said." Take a few minutes to review your actions. Where did you honor your values? Where did you fall short? This isn't about self-criticism. It's about learning and improving. Rule 7, reframing pain and pleasure, becomes especially relevant when reflecting on the day's challenges. Was there a moment of discomfort or struggle that taught you something valuable? Conversely, were there pleasures that distracted you or pulled you away from your goals? Use these insights to refine your choices moving forward. Rule 8, embracing impermanence, comes alive as you wind down for the night. Acknowledge the fleeting nature of the day you just lived. Its moments, both good and bad, are now memories. This practice helps you let go of regrets and anxieties, freeing you to approach tomorrow with a fresh perspective. Finally, Rule 9, living according to your values, ties everything together. Ask yourself, did I live today in alignment with who I want to be, or did I get caught up in the expectations of others? If the latter, reflect on how you can recalibrate tomorrow. Stoicism isn't about perfection, it's about progress. It's about meeting each day with intention, navigating its challenges with resilience, and finding balance amidst its chaos. These 9 rules are more than philosophy. They are a way of life, a path to mastering the art of living. Let me leave you with one final question. If today were your last, would you be proud of how you lived it? If not, what will you do differently tomorrow? The video ends, not with answers, but with a call to action to live with wisdom, courage, and balance, not just for a day, but for a lifetime.